Ladies and gentlemen, I want you to take a deep breath and embrace the silence around you. Feel it, because in that silence there is power. In that silence there is wisdom. In that silence there is everything you are looking for. See, we live in a world that tells us to move fast, to chase, to hustle nonstop. But let me tell you something. Great things don't come from chasing. They come from preparing, from trusting, from believing that what is meant for you will never miss you. You ever notice how the most confident people in the room don't need to be the loudest? They don't need to prove themselves to anyone. They move with certainty. They move with purpose. They move in silence because they know that real power doesn't come from noise. It comes from patience. Life has a rhythm. You plant the seed, but you don't stand over it shouting at it to grow. No, you let the rain fall, you let the sun shine, and you trust that in due time, that seed will turn into something strong, something beautiful. So I'm telling you now, stop forcing, stop chasing, stop doubting, stay silent. Stay steady, stay faithful, because when you do, everything that is meant for you will come, not on your time, but on the right time. Let the world make all the noise it wants. Let others run in circles trying to force what isn't theirs. But you stand firm, you trust, and when the time is right, everything you've been waiting for will arrive. Stay silent, stay patient, and watch what happens. Silence is power. It allows wisdom to grow. Think about it. Some of the wisest people in history, the ones whose words have shaped generations, were not the loudest in the room. They were the ones who listened, who observed, who took in the world before they spoke. They understood that true power is not in how much noise you make, but in how much understanding you gain before you act. Silence isn't emptiness, it's preparation. It's sharpening the mind, strengthening the spirit, and allowing wisdom to settle deep within you. In today's world, silence is rare. We live in a time where everyone is in a rush to speak, to be heard, to prove a point. Social media, television, constant notifications, all of it pushes people to react instantly. But the truth is, wisdom isn't found in quick reactions. Wisdom grows in the stillness, in the moments where you allow yourself to process, to reflect, and to understand before you respond. Durable promise is not the window seat of mere context, where processing can be critical to the progress of other people. Those who are too quick to speak often find themselves regretting their words, while those who embrace silence learn to choose their words with precision and purpose. Powerful individuals understand the strength of silence. They know that speaking less often means saying more. When you are silent, people lean in. They wonder what you are thinking, what you know that they don't. Silence demands respect because it shows discipline. It shows confidence. It shows that you are not controlled by the need for validation, that you do not need to prove yourself to anyone. A wise person understands that every word carries weight, and the fewer words wasted, the more impactful the message becomes. Silence also gives you the gift of observation. When you are not caught up in the noise, you begin to see things others miss. You notice the way people speak, the way they move, the energy they carry. You start to understand situations on a deeper level because you are not distracted by your own need to be heard. This ability to observe, to read between the lines, to truly listen, this is where wisdom is born. Those who talk too much often reveal everything about themselves, but learn nothing about others. Those who stay silent gather knowledge, gather insight, and when the time comes, they act with clarity and confidence. Another reason silence is power is that it teaches patience. In a world that rewards speed, patience is a rare quality, and yet it is one of the most valuable. Wisdom does not come from rushing into decisions or reacting without thought. It comes from taking the time to understand, to process, to weigh the consequences before taking action. The most successful people in any field, business, sports, leadership, are the ones who have mastered patience. They do not panic, they do not make emotional decisions. They stay calm, they stay silent, and they let wisdom guide them to the right move. Silence also strengthens your inner world. When you remove the external noise, you begin to hear your own thoughts more clearly. You start to connect with yourself on a deeper level. You begin to understand your own fears, your own desires, your own strengths. In this space of quiet reflection, self-awareness grows, and self-awareness is the foundation of wisdom. When you know yourself, your weaknesses, your strengths, your triggers, you become unshakable. You stop being influenced by what others think, and you start making choices that align with your true purpose. Silence is not a sign of weakness, it is a sign of mastery. It allows you to move strategically, to think critically, and to grow in ways that constant noise never will. Those who embrace silence are not passive, they are preparing. They are strengthening their minds, their souls, their purpose. And when they do speak, when they do act, they do so with the full weight of their wisdom behind them. That is power. That is the strength of silence. The world moves fast, but patience wins the race. Everywhere you look, things are moving at an incredible speed. Technology advances daily, news spreads in seconds, and people rush through life as if they are running out of time. Society has conditioned us to believe that faster is always better, that success comes to those who hustle the hardest, who work non-stop, who never take a break. But the truth is, speed alone does not guarantee success. Updates. Fortunately, though, speed does not necessarily guarantee success. Patience, on the other hand, is the real game changer. It is the quiet force that separates those who burn out quickly from those who endure, those who achieve temporary wins from those who build lasting success. Patience is not about doing nothing. It is about understanding timing. It is about knowing when to push forward and when to hold back. The world moves fast, but not everything in life is meant to be rushed. A seed does not become a tree overnight. A masterpiece is not painted in an hour. A strong foundation is not built in a day. The greatest achievements require time, effort, and persistence. People often give up because they expect results too soon. They plant their seeds and immediately want to see a harvest, but that is not how life works. Those who understand the power of patience keep watering, keep nurturing, keep believing, even when they see no immediate results, because they know that in time, their efforts will pay off. One of the biggest mistakes people make is confusing movement with progress. Just because you are busy does not mean you are getting ahead. Just because the world is rushing does not mean you have to rush with it. Some of the most successful people in history understood the value of patience. They didn't chase after every opportunity that came their way. They didn't make impulsive decisions just to keep up with the crowd. They moved with strategy, with discipline, with patience. And in the end, they reached levels of success that those who rushed never did. And patience is also a sign of strength. It takes discipline to wait for the right moment. It takes wisdom to understand that success is not about how fast you get there, but about how well you prepare along the way. Many people fail not because they lack talent, but because they lack patience. They quit too soon. They get frustrated too easily. They let the fast pace of the world make them feel like they are falling behind. But the truth is, slow progress is still progress. Every step forward, no matter how small, brings you closer to your goal. Look at nature. The strongest trees are the ones that take years to grow. The most beautiful rivers are carved over centuries. The most powerful leaders are shaped through years of experience, failure, and learning. Nothing truly great happens overnight. In a world obsessed with speed, patience is a rare and valuable asset. It allows you to think clearly, to make better decisions, to stay focused on the long game instead of chasing short-term rewards. The world will always move fast, but you do not have to be swept away by it. Stay steady, stay patient, keep working, keep learning, keep improving. Do not compare your journey to anyone else's. Some people's success comes quickly, but just as quickly, it can fade. Others take their time, building something solid, something that will last. The race is not about who gets there first, it is about who is still standing at the end. Those who rush may stumble, but those who move with patience will always find their way to the finish line. In the end, patience always wins. Trust in the process. Everything has its time. Life has a way of unfolding exactly as it should, but the challenge is that we don't always see it in the moment. We want things to happen on our timeline, according to our plans, on our schedule. But the truth is, real growth, real success, and real transformation don't work that way. Everything has its time, and if you rush the process, you might end up with something half-formed, something that isn't ready, something that won't last. NPPS. Think about nature. A tree doesn't grow in a day. It takes seasons of rain, sunshine, and time for its roots to strengthen before it can stand tall. A caterpillar doesn't become a butterfly overnight. It has to go through its process, step by step. The same is true for everything meaningful in life, whether it's your career, relationships, personal growth, or dreams. They all require time, patience, and trust in the journey. Through it all, keep looking up and reflecting on the magic of the process and the journey you're on. One of the biggest mistakes people make is trying to control everything. They want instant results, immediate rewards, and fast success. But the process doesn't work that way. If you plant a seed today, you don't dig it up tomorrow to see if it's growing. You trust that the soil, the water, and the sunlight will do their job. You continue to nurture it even when you don't see progress right away. The same principle applies to life. Just because you don't see the results now doesn't mean nothing is happening. There are moments when you will feel stuck, when you will question if your efforts are even worth it, when you will wonder if what you're working toward will ever come to pass. But this is the time when trust matters most. Just because something isn't happening now doesn't mean it won't happen. Some of the greatest successes come to those who refuse to quit, who keep believing, who understand that every setback, every delay, every challenge is part of the process. Think about the people who have achieved greatness. Athletes train for years before they win championships. Entrepreneurs fail multiple times before they build successful businesses. Artists, musicians, and writers spend countless hours perfecting their craft before they are recognized. None of them skipped the process. None of them took shortcuts. They trusted in the timing of their journey. They knew that every struggle, every lesson, every moment of doubt was shaping them into the person they needed to be to handle what was coming. Trusting the process doesn't mean sitting back and doing nothing. It means showing up every day, putting in the work, and believing that what is meant for you will come in its time. It means understanding that delay is not denial. It means knowing that just because you haven't reached your destination yet doesn't mean you won't. Some things take longer because they require more preparation. Sometimes you're being molded, strengthened, and refined so that when your time comes, you'll be ready. And then everything in life happens when it is meant to. The wrong doors will close so the right ones can open. People will leave so better people can come. Opportunities will be delayed so that when they arrive, you'll be in the right mindset to receive them. You don't have to have it all figured out today. You just have to trust that if you keep moving forward, if you stay committed, if you believe in the process, everything will fall into place exactly when it is supposed to. So be patient, stay focused, keep the faith. Your time is coming. Trust in the process, and when the moment is right, everything will come together exactly as it should. Silence teaches, noise distracts. In a world filled with constant noise, silence has become one of the most underrated and overlooked tools for growth, wisdom, and clarity. Every day we are surrounded by distractions, social media notifications, breaking news, endless opinions, and the pressure to always be doing something. The world moves fast and the noise never stops. But in the middle of all that chaos, silence stands as a powerful teacher, offering lessons that noise can never provide. Here's something I've learned from listening to you. In the midst of all that chaos, silence stands as a powerful teacher, offering lessons that noise can never provide. Silence teaches you to listen, not just to others, but to yourself. When you remove the distractions, you start to hear your own thoughts more clearly. You begin to recognize your fears, your desires, your strengths, and your weaknesses. Most people are so consumed by external noise that they never take the time to reflect, to understand themselves, to truly listen to what their heart and mind are telling them. But those who embrace silence gain a deeper understanding of who they are. They become more self-aware, more in control, more at peace with their journey. Noise, on the other hand, is a distraction. It pulls your attention in 100 different directions, keeping you from focusing on what really matters. It convinces you that you need to be constantly engaged, constantly entertained, constantly reacting. But in reality, noise only keeps you busy, not productive. It fills your mind with unnecessary information, drains your energy, and makes it harder for you to think clearly. Have you ever noticed how some of your best ideas come when you are in complete silence? Maybe in the shower, on a walk, or lying in bed at night. That's because silence allows your mind to process, to create, to make sense of things without interference. Silence also teaches patience. In a world that rewards instant gratification, learning to be still, to wait, and to observe is a rare skill. Most people react to situations without thinking, saying whatever comes to mind, making decisions based on impulse. But those who have mastered silence know that the best responses come from thoughtfulness. They understand that sometimes the most powerful thing you can do is say nothing at all. When you stay silent, you gain the ability to read situations better, to understand people on a deeper level, and to respond with wisdom instead of emotion. Noise, however, creates pressure. It tells you that you need to have an opinion on everything, that you need to be seen, that you need to be heard at all times. It convinces you that silence is weakness, that if you aren't speaking, you aren't relevant. But the truth is, the strongest people are often the quietest. They don't waste their words. They don't react to every little thing. They listen. They analyze. They wait for the right moment to speak, and when they do, their words carry weight. Silence also gives you power over your emotions. When you are constantly surrounded by noise, it's easy to be influenced by other people's negativity, stress, and opinions. But in silence, you find peace. You learn to separate your emotions from the emotions of others. You gain control over your reactions, your thoughts, your energy. You start to realize that not everything requires a response, that not every battle is worth fighting, that not every opinion deserves your attention. Most importantly, silence teaches you to trust yourself. It removes the external influences that cloud your judgment and allows you to connect with your own intuition. When you are silent, you become your own guide, your own source of wisdom. You stop looking for validation from the outside world and start believing in your own inner voice. So while the world will always be filled with noise, you don't have to be consumed by it. Embrace silence. Learn from it, let it teach you, strengthen you, and guide you, because in the end, silence brings clarity, while noise only brings distraction. Strength isn't in chasing, it's in attracting. So many people spend their lives running, chasing after success, love, approval, and happiness. They believe that if they just work harder, move faster, and push more, they will finally get what they want. But real strength isn't found in chasing, it's found in attracting. It's found in becoming the kind of person who naturally draws the right opportunities, the right people, and the right success into their life. Haste comes from a place of desperation. It's a mindset that says, I need this right now, and if I don't go after it, I'll never have it. But when you chase something, it often runs from you. Think about relationships. When someone is desperate for love, they often push people away. When someone is desperate for success, they make rash decisions, cutting corners instead of building something real. When someone is constantly chasing approval, they lose themselves trying to please others. Chasing is rooted in fear. The fear of missing out, the fear of being left behind, the fear of not being enough. But strength doesn't come from fear. Strength comes from confidence, from knowing your worth, from trusting that what is meant for you will find you. Attracting, on the other hand, comes from a place of power. It's about becoming so strong, so self-assured, so full of purpose that the right things naturally come your way. It's about focusing on growth, on improvement, on being the best version of yourself. Because when you do that, opportunities, success, and the right people will be drawn to you. Think about the most magnetic individuals you've ever met. They don't beg for attention. They don't chase after others. They simply exist in their strength and people gravitate toward them. When you shift your mindset from chasing to attracting, everything changes. Instead of running after success, you develop skills, discipline, and a strong mindset, knowing that success will come as a result. Instead of chasing love, you focus on becoming a person who is whole on their own, and as a result, you naturally attract people who respect and value you. Instead of seeking validation, you build self-confidence, and suddenly, people start recognizing your worth without you having to prove anything. Think about nature. The sun doesn't chase the planets, they orbit around it because of its power. Flowers don't chase bees, they bloom, and the bees come to them. A river doesn't chase the ocean, it flows naturally toward it. That is the way of true strength. When you know who you are, when you stand firm in your purpose, when you put in the work to grow and improve, you won't have to run after anything. The right things will come to you. This doesn't mean you sit back and do nothing. It means you shift your energy. Instead of chasing external rewards, you focus on internal growth. Instead of begging for opportunities, you develop yourself so that opportunities seek you out. Instead of forcing things to happen, you create an environment where they naturally unfold. This is the difference between temporary wins and lasting success. Chasing is exhausting, it drains your energy, leaves you frustrated, and often leads to disappointment. but attracting is effortless. Not because it doesn't require work, but because the work is focused on what truly matters. Your own development, your own strength, your own growth. When you focus on becoming rather than pursuing, you stop feeling like you are always running. You begin to trust the process. You begin to see things fall into place. You begin to understand that real power isn't in chasing, it's in becoming someone that doesn't need to chase. So stop running, stop forcing, stop chasing things that are running away from you. Instead, work on yourself. Build your strength, develop your skills, stand in your confidence, because when you do, the right things will find you, and you won't have to chase anything ever again. The universe speaks when you listen. Life is always sending us messages, guiding us, and showing us the way forward. But the problem is, most people are too distracted to hear it. They are caught up in noise, in stress, in constant motion, always busy, always chasing, always trying to control everything. But the universe doesn't speak through chaos. It speaks through silence, through stillness, through those moments when you finally slow down and pay attention. 5. There is wisdom all around us, but it is only revealed to those who are willing to listen. Sometimes it comes in the form of intuition, that quiet voice inside that nudges you in a certain direction, that feeling in your gut telling you what's right and what's wrong. But too often, people ignore it. They let fear, doubt, or outside opinions drown it out. They convince themselves that they need proof, that they need guarantees, that they need everything to make logical sense before they trust it. But the universe doesn't work that way. It doesn't shout. It doesn't demand your attention. It whispers. And only those who listen can truly hear its message. Other times, the universe speaks through signs, things that seem like coincidences, but are actually pieces of a much bigger puzzle. Maybe you keep seeing the same number, hearing the same phrase, or meeting people who seem to be pointing you in the same direction. Maybe doors that you once thought were open start closing, while new opportunities appear in unexpected ways. These are not accidents. They are signals, guiding you toward what is meant for you. But you have to be paying attention. If you are too busy forcing things, rushing the process, or ignoring the signs, you will miss the guidance that is right in front of you. The universe also speaks through challenges. Sometimes, when things aren't going your way, it's not because you're failing, it's because you're being redirected. That job you didn't get, that relationship that ended, that plan that fell apart, it all happened for a reason. But you won't understand the reason if you're too focused on resisting it. The more you listen, the more you start to realize that even your setbacks are part of the plan. Also, never agree to failure. It's cowardly. The things you thought were obstacles were actually lessons. The delays were actually protection. The endings were actually new beginnings in disguise. But to hear the universe, you have to trust it. You have to stop filling every moment with noise and learn to be still. You have to quiet the distractions, let go of the need for control, and open yourself up to receiving. Meditation, solitude, time in nature. These are not just practices for relaxation. They are ways to connect, to listen, to tune into the wisdom that is always available to you. When you give yourself space to just be, without forcing, without pushing, without demanding answers, you will be amazed at what you begin to understand. Listening to the universe is not about waiting for a loud, clear answer. It's about recognizing the subtle ways in which life is always guiding you. It's about trusting that even when things don't make sense in the moment, they are unfolding exactly as they should. It's about surrendering to the flow rather than fighting against it. The universe is always speaking to you. It's in the synchronicities, the inner nudges, the challenges, and the opportunities. But the question is, are you listening? When you learn to truly listen, life becomes easier. You stop forcing things that aren't meant for you. You stop ignoring the lessons that are trying to reach you. You start moving with the flow instead of against it. And that is when everything starts falling into place. The universe speaks when you listen. So be still, be open, and trust that the answers you seek are already finding their way to you. Confidence is quiet, insecurity is loud. True confidence doesn't need to announce itself. It doesn't beg for attention, it doesn't seek validation, and it doesn't need to prove anything to anyone. Confidence is a quiet force. It speaks through actions, through presence, through the way a person carries themselves. It doesn't demand the spotlight because it doesn't need it. On the other hand, insecurity is loud. It shouts, it boasts, it overcompensates. It seeks approval, constantly needing reassurance from others. The difference between the two is clear. Confidence is secure in itself, while insecurity is desperate to be seen, heard, and validated. A truly confident person doesn't have to tell you they are confident, you can feel it. They don't need to dominate a conversation, constantly talk about their achievements or prove their worth. They are comfortable in their own skin, whether they are being praised or ignored. They don't feel the need to correct every misunderstanding or respond to every insult because they know who they are. They trust themselves. And that trust speaks louder than any words ever could. Insecurity, on the other hand, makes noise because it is uncomfortable with silence. People who are insecure often talk too much, brag excessively, or try to control conversations. They interrupt, they over-explain, they seek validation through external praise. They post constantly, seeking likes and comments as proof of their worth. They want to be seen as confident, but in reality, their actions reveal the opposite. True confidence doesn't seek validation because it doesn't need it. It stands strong regardless of outside opinions. Think about the strongest leaders, the most respected figures in history. They didn't need to yell to command a room. Their presence, their actions, their quiet certainty did all the talking. They didn't react to every insult. They didn't argue to prove their worth, and they didn't need to show off. They understood that power isn't in volume, it's in presence. It's in how you carry yourself, how you treat others, and how you stay true to who you are. Confidence also allows for silence. A confident person can sit in a room and say nothing, yet still be felt. They don't need to dominate a conversation or constantly share their opinions. They understand that sometimes the most powerful thing you can do is listen. They choose their words carefully, knowing that speaking less often makes their words carry more weight. Insecure people, however, they feel the need to fill every gap with noise because they are uncomfortable with stillness. They equate being heard with being important, not realizing that true strength is often found in restraint. Another key difference between confidence and insecurity is how they handle criticism. A confident person doesn't get defensive when someone disagrees with them. They don't feel attacked when someone questions their choices. They listen, they consider, and if the criticism has value, they learn from it. If it doesn't, they let it go. An insecure person, however, takes everything personally. They react emotionally, arguing, defending, and trying to prove themselves right. They see every disagreement as a threat because deep down, they are unsure of themselves. They seek external validation because they don't yet have internal validation. Confidence also allows a person to uplift others. Someone who is truly secure in themselves doesn't feel threatened by someone else's success. They don't need to put others down to feel important. Insecurity, however, breeds jealousy, comparison, and negativity. Insecure people tear others down because they believe someone else's success takes away from their own. Confident people understand that success is not a competition. They celebrate others because they know their own value isn't diminished by someone else shining. At the end of the day, confidence is about knowing who you are and being okay with it. It's about not needing constant reassurance, not seeking approval, and not feeling the need to prove yourself at every turn. Insecurity is loud because it's looking for something: attention, validation, approval. But confidence doesn't look, it already knows. And that quiet certainty is more powerful than any words ever could be. Your destiny is already written, let it unfold. There is a certain peace that comes with the realization that everything you are meant to experience in life is already unfolding in its own perfect way. Your destiny is not something you need to chase or force into being. It is already written. It is a path uniquely designed for you, full of lessons, growth, and opportunities that will lead you exactly where you need to be. The key is to stop trying to control the journey and allow it to unfold naturally. So often in life, we feel like we need to force things to happen. We push ourselves to achieve more, to reach goals, to make everything fit into a specific timeline. We see others achieving success, living their dream lives, and we wonder why we haven't reached the same place yet. We compare our journeys to theirs and get frustrated when things don't go according to plan. But the truth is, your destiny is different from theirs. In riding, your life has its own rhythm, its own timing, and its own purpose. The beauty of letting your destiny unfold is that you give up the need for control. You stop stressing over when things will happen or how they will happen. You trust that what is meant for you will come at the right time. There is no need to rush the process. Everything you need to become who you are meant to be is already within you. You don't need to chase your destiny because it is already on its way to you. Your purpose will find you when you stop forcing it. Think about the natural world. The seasons don't rush. They don't try to hurry up the process. Winter gives way to spring, and spring to summer, all in their own time. A seed doesn't panic about becoming a tree. It simply grows, reaching toward the light. The same principle applies to you. Life is a series of unfolding moments, and every step you take is leading you closer to your true purpose. You are not falling behind. You are exactly where you need to be, and the path ahead will reveal itself as you continue moving forward. Letting your destiny unfold also means trusting the timing of your life. It means understanding that everything happens for a reason, even when it doesn't make sense at the time. The challenges you face, the setbacks you experience, and the detours along the way are not accidents. They are part of the bigger plan, teaching you valuable lessons and preparing you for what is to come. Trust that each step, each moment, each experience is contributing to the person you are becoming. I'm just making sure I'm saying this because before I go today, I want to share this with you. Marine Black. Sometimes we get impatient. We want things to happen now. We want to reach our goals, live our dreams, and see the results of our efforts immediately. But destiny doesn't work on our timeline. It works on its own schedule, one that is much wiser than our own. It knows what we need and when we need it. So, when things aren't moving as quickly as you'd like, remember that there is a greater force at work. Trust the process and know that everything is falling into place exactly as it should. One of the most powerful things you can do is surrender. Let go of the need to control every outcome. Release the pressure of having everything figured out. Life has a way of bringing you exactly what you need at the right time. When you let go of the need to force things, You create space for the universe to bring you opportunities, people, and experiences that align with your true purpose. 1. This doesn't mean you sit back and wait passively. It means you take aligned action, trusting that the next step will reveal itself when the time is right. You keep moving forward with faith, knowing that each decision you make leading you to the right place. When you stop trying to force things into being, you give the universe the space to guide you towards your true destiny. Your destiny is already written, but it is not a rigid, fixed plan. It is a living, breathing journey that is constantly unfolding, shaped by the choices you make, the lessons you learn, and the growth you experience. Let it unfold at its own pace. Trust in the timing of your life, and know that no matter where you are right now, you are exactly where you need to be, moving closer to the life you were always meant to live.